just 6 days later. How important is that for this team? Well, J.T. Barrett has started each of the Buckeyes' last 30 games, and his 36 career wins as their starting quarterback tied for the most in school history. Now he's cleared to play in the Big Ten title game. He could break the school record with a win against Wisconsin. All right, this will be fun, Carrie.
I'm teasing.
Are you watching? You ready?
You already know I'm not focused. I'm locked in now.
Focus up now, because we got the Eagles. We know they got a lot of reasons to dance and celebrate.
Yeah, this is Sunday.
They're doing the electric slide. Carson Wentz says they don't work on this in practice. It's all organic. And so everybody loves the electric slide, even the NFL Live crew. They couldn't resist.
Let's go.
Okay, what do you got?
Which way we going? We will go this way first. We going? Which way we going? We're going left.
Yeah,
Let's go.
you guys are the real. You're the real solution.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's do the slide. Let's go.
We doing slide?
Yeah, let's slide. Let's slide.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm following you. Come on.
Yeah, you okay? You're right. This is going
got
on.
it.
Okay,
We got the slide.
Here we go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
all right. Oh, we got the music. Okay, all right. There we go.
Come on
Okay.
now.
All right, let's see it. All right, there we go.
You giving me Gap Band, Coach. You giving me the Gap Band slash, I don't know what this is.
We've seen.
Yeah, Coach
What
be
is
out there
this,
like, he's just finding his own beat and rhythm. What are you dancing to? You doing your own thing.
I just got my own deal. I just kind of go. But I know one thing. I'm on beat. I'm not off beat. You got to stay with the rhythm.
But what's the twist of the hands there? You just gave me the shuffle.
That's the old dancer group I used to be in, the Fabulous Capris. You know, I've got sunshine.
I thought it was a false start.
Talk about it.
On a cloudy day.
Cloudy day.
Yeah, you know, when it's cold outside, you know. That's how we
hit it.
You got to make those hand motions, you know.
Hit it.
Yeah, there you go. See if I can. No, that's the slide.
Right there.
It's not
slide out.
all the kids on the dance floor.
That was some 12-year-olds.
That's Piper children doing your thing.
Look, Adam was there, and Adam could have joined in, and Adam sat over there laughing at me taking pictures of it, but that's okay. That's how he got on Twitter, because of Adam.
Adam dances similar. I've seen his dancing skills, except his aren't on beat like yours are, Coach. You do a good job.
I appreciate
you.
You really do. I really do.
Right.
Good segment out of Herman there.
Hey, David, what are we doing?
I think we're going to Redskins Cowboys.
Ooh.
Our NFL insider, also known as the electric slide master, Adam Schefter, joining us out here on Coast to Coast. You too can electric slide, can you not?
I think my wife would vehemently disagree with that, Carrie. I think that she would laugh if you called me the electric slide master.
Okay, so then I'll take that out of the, it's just NFL insider. So then let's just focus on the Cowboys here. We mentioned it earlier, they're not playing well, lost their last 3 games. The Zeke factor, let's remove that. What other issues are you seeing with their offense?
Well, obviously that's a huge factor. It's tough to take that out of the equation, but there are other factors to be involved here as to why this offense has failed to score at least 10 points in 3 straight games and is 1 game short of setting the record with the 2003 Giant team 1 year before it drafted Eli Manning for most games without 10 points. And that is this. Basically, they've got an aging offensive core. They've got a lack of playmakers on the offensive side of the football. Jason Witten, who's a Hall of Fame tight end, has struggled to make some plays. Des Bryant, at 29, doesn't look like he's 29 right now, and they're not getting the type of big plays that they've gotten in the past. They're lacking that from all the positions. And so Dak Prescott, the play-action fake has not helped him the way that it did last year. And Dak Prescott is a great young quarterback, but there are questions about his accuracy and velocity last year when he came out. Those have popped up this year. And again, usually when teams are not working together and not functioning together and not winning together, all these questions come up. None of these were questions last year. Everything was great in Dallas last year. This year, different deal. They're losing games. They're under scrutiny. The criticism mounts. People have questions, trying to figure out what's reasons, none of which existed last year when they were winning.
You were right about that. Talk to your resident Cowboy fan, David Lloyd. He also questions whether or not, as you just mentioned, Des Bryant is an elite quarterback. Let's shift to another team in the NFC East, though. The Giants organization taking some real heat over benching Eli Manning for Geno Smith. Eli was seen running the second team in practice on Wednesday. What a odd scene. Giants owner John Mara had this to say about the quarterback.
That's not the case. I mean, again, we're 2-9. I mean, we're still going to try to win the games. I read something somewhere about our intent the rest of the season. That's complete bullshit. I would never allow that. You know, we're going to try to win the games. We're just going to have to try to do it with a different guy in quarterback.
But you say that, but how can you tell your fans that Geno Smith and Davis Webb give you a better chance to win
We'll have
than Eli
to find
Manning?
out. We're 2-9. We'll have to find out whether they give us a better chance of winning. You know, let them play and see.
Let him play and see. So that's John Mara saying basically don't write his obituary yet in New York. Tell me, what do you think this means for Eli's future in New York?
It means short term he's not going to be the Giants quarterback. Long term there are questions, and I think most people thought it was the start of his end of his time with the Giants as their quarterback. But you've got a situation here, Kerry, where you don't even know who the GM is going to be. You don't know who the head coach is going to be. And because of those questions, I think there's still the possibility that Eli Manning could be back in New York next year. But this is an organization that's going to face a drastic amount of change during the offseason, and the questions become how many of those people there this year survive those change. Those are decisions that ownership, John Mara, Steve Tisch, that they're going to have to make a decision on here in the coming days and weeks. And again, depending on how that turns out, that would influence whether or not Eli Manning is back in New York. Keep in mind, he's got a no-trade clause in his contract. They can't just trade him where they want to trade him. He's got a $5 million roster bonus payment due in the beginning of the league year in March. So they have to make that decision before they pay him that money. So these decisions are all coming. Again, it looks like right now they're ushering him out the door, but there's still a lot that has to happen in New York before that actually does happen.
All right, Adam Schefter, thank you so much for giving us that information. That's our NFL insider. David Lloyd, I'll send it over to you. My takeaway from that segment is that your team isn't the only bad team in the NFC East.
Thank goodness for that. Miami and Clemson, Saturday, 8 Eastern on ABC. It's a win and you're in game in Charlotte. Saturday night, 8 Eastern on ABC, streaming live on the ESPN app. These are two great defensive teams. Miami's plus 17 turnover differential is the very best among Power 5 teams, hence the turnover chain. But Clemson's been more efficient. The Tigers ranked 4th in scoring defense and 6th in total defense in the FBS. Marty Smith spoke with Mark Richt yesterday.
Miami was, the whole U was the standard when I was a kid, right? You never dream that you're going to see mediocrity from that.
Yeah.
But that's what happened. Mediocrity happened. So
well, what are the challenges? That's your word. I'm not going to use that word.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
What are the challenges to building again?
Well, I think first of all, you got to put together a great staff, which I think we have. It's been a blessing, not only our full-time coaches, but our strength coaches, our nutritionists, academics, and then you got to recruit, and recruiting takes time. I mean, you can get it 1 year, 2 years, but you got to put together a few classes to really get your numbers up to where they need to be to have true competition within your team.
What do you say to anyone who says you're a year early in terms of?
Well, I don't even know what we've done that everybody would say that, but I've never put a lid on the success of a team. I've never gone into a game thinking we're going to lose it. I mean, I think we're going to win.
I know you've studied Clemson ad nauseum this week.
Right.
24 hours a day. What impresses you about them most?
Well, a lot of things. I coach offense mostly as far as the details of it. And when you turn on the film, the first thing you see is these big, giant beasts up front. Their D-line are very impressive. I mean, 3 of the 4 all-ACC first-team D linemen are Clemson players, and rightfully so. They're the best we've seen on tape. You could tell Dabo's been recruiting for years, not just a year or two. You could tell they have a great way to develop their players. You see it just in their body types. I mean, they've won 42 of the last 45 games. They're champions. They're definitely the measuring stick of our league. And, we'll find out where we're at.
What is your team's potential?
Well, gosh, we've gotten to this point to play in this game, and I think the winner of this game will probably move on. So who knows? Let's just go hook it up and find out.
Coming up at the top of the hour, another head coach in the state of Florida, Lane Kiffin, will join Outside the Lines with Bob Lee. Does Kiffin want the Tennessee job? And what's with all the trolling of Nick Saban? That's coming up on OTL.
I have the answer to that, David, but I'll wait for OTL. Okay. Meanwhile, what if the Cowboys hadn't drafted Dak in the 4th round of the 2016 draft? What would it be? Would we have Tony Romo? No, that's not the question. Coming up on Coast